So, welcome everybody, here on a very sunny day at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, in Canada, where today's Grand Prix is going to take place, round number 6 of the F1 Esports League. And we will follow again, or we will drive again with Direwolves in the Red Bull, as we always do when the Xbox is racing. Today we are welcoming 7 drivers onto the track. Very happy for that. And obviously we'll go right into it with Q1. Q2 and Q3. We already have some drivers out on the track. I'm sorry for the problems with the internet. I hope it's going to resolve itself again, and you're going to see the stream clean and with no problems. But in the meantime, we will concentrate ourselves on this qualifying session, where we are about to see some drivers going very, very fast. So if you haven't watched the PC race already, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So as you can already understand or expect in the name, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is named after Gilles Villeneuve, the famous Canadian Grand Prix of Formula 1 driver who unfortunately died in the Belgian Grand Prix in 1982 during a race. So we already have a circuit that is filled with history and dedicated to a very, very historic and absolutely fantastic driver. The track is a very easy track. No pretty fast corners, or not too many fast corners. 15 corners. So the track is consisting of 15 corners, including the Pont de Virage Senna, the Pont de la Concorde, the Pit Hairpin, and the Virage du Casino. Pit's Hairpin being one of the most difficult, but there's a lot of drivers who say that the strict and fast chicanes, or the tight chicanes, are one of the most difficult as well. In the meantime, we will obviously return onto the track here, as we can see Direwolves, who has put up the fastest lap but instantly got beaten by Emigrant Corky. So now Direwolf's going a little bit slower to leave the space for all the other drivers to pass him, so he can get back on track and try, as he's got a yellow flag I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. Yes, he's got the yellow flag as he's slowing down, but I don't know pretty much why or what happened. Whatever. He's going back here again. So 15 corners consisting of these very difficult corners, those very tight and strict chicanes that a lot of drivers fear, but most importantly the Pit's Hairpin, of course, being the one corner that is very, very difficult to manage. 4.361 kilometers give the drivers a lot of overtaking possibility each lap, so that they don't have to fear to go out of the track or something, because there is a lot of space. The only thing, obviously, as I said, are the chicanes, but there in the chicanes there's also a lot of space, so the drivers can easily manage to overtake or pass other drivers or other contestants. Well, but while I was talking about the circuit, of course, the other drivers were still driving. So we've got Emigrant Corgi on P1, Direwolves in the Red Bull on P2, James Tuddy on P3, Ceramic Mars on P4, and Galore Nebula in the Racing Point on P5. That's some very solid racing here, and Direwolves going in with the fastest first sector, and now turning into sector 2, going a little bit slower. I know he's losing some time, but he still has a good car. So the tire temperature looks good, everything looks fine. Canada also has 2 DRS zones, one being between corner 13 and 14. That's the long straight in front of the chicane when the drivers go into the box or into the pit area, and the second one is the pit area, is the DRS zone next to the pit area, so the one next to the box, which is between corner 15 and corner number 1, passing the line, the starting grid, and everything else. Some very good overtaking spots are obviously corner number 3 or 2 and 3, although they are pretty difficult to overtake. Then we're going to have some good overtaking possibility again in corner number 7 and 8, and on the straight between 8 and 9. In the corners 9 and 10, as there we've got a little chicane again. Then from corner number 10 to 11, which corner number 11 is the hairpin, so on that straight, and obviously then the corner number 11, so the hairpin is a great overtaking possibility, or gives great overtaking possibility to the drivers. Then we have the straight between corner 13 and 14, which gives the drivers some great pace if they have enough DRS or enough racing pace. If they're fast enough, they can easily overtake over the outside or inside, whatever they want to do. So no problem should be there for the drivers. Then again in corner 15 or 14, that should be no problem as well. We can see that here. And then basically on the last straight, where we also have the DRS zone. So that's about it from the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada, where we are currently driving the 6th round of the F1 Esports League race calendar. And now I will give you a little reminder on how the teams are standing in the Xbox Championship at the moment. We've got Direwolves in the Red Bull on P1 in the first position with 61 points. Risa Madge in the McLaren on the second place with 34 points. James Toddy in the Alfa Romeo with 18 points on third. Then we've got Thomas on 4th place with 9 points. Alex and Dawson are on 5th and 6th place with 6 and 2 points. And then no other driver has managed to get some points. So now obviously we can see some other drivers going through the circuit. We've got here Galore Nebula in the Racing Point, who we had seen already in the last race as well. And obviously some other drivers too. TW is here again, James Toddy from the last race. I'm not 100% sure if Riza Match is there, but I'm sure we will see some footage of him. So that was about the Driver Championship, and the Constructors Championship is obviously situated or constructed, built up pretty much the same. We've got the Red Bull with 61 points, the McLaren with 43, the Alfa Romeo with 18, the Mercedes with 8, and the other teams all with no points until now.
Track is quiet right now. Let's get out on track while it's clear.
Okay, so here we've got another chance to take a look at the situation right now. We've got TW, who retired from the session and is happy with a P3. We've got James Toddy on P4, who's in the garage but not yet retired. So all of our drivers are right here. We can see we've got Emigrant Corgi on P1 with a 1.9. We've got Direwolves on P2 with a 1.10. We've got TW on P3 with a 1.11. We've got James Toddy in the Alfa Romeo on P4 with a 1.11 as well. 10 tenths of a second of difference between the two of them. Ceramic Mars on P5 in the Renault, as if I can see that quite well. Yes. And then we've got Galore Nebula on P6. Two drivers who retired from the session right now. And now Direwolves is going to go out on the track again to maybe gain an even better round. Now here you can see one of the most used, or not, well, not one of the most used overtaking spots, but definitely one of the most interesting. Here we can see that. Great. 7 drivers, but I can only see 6. I believe that one of our drivers has not gone out on the track yet, but I am not quite sure who. We'll take a look at that. Now obviously we'll just let Direwolves finish his lap here. It's a very good first corner here. Going into corner number 2 and 3. Now cutting into corner 4 with a low chicane. And 5. This is corner 6 and 7. Corner number 8 is coming up right here. And there we are on the next straight. This is corner number 9 and 10. And Direwolves has flipped out a little. That's obviously unfortunate, as he had been going very, very well until that moment. Unfortunately, we now have to say goodbye to him for this moment. We'll see if he's going to go out in the track again. We had to say goodbye to his front wing as he completely shattered into the wall. But even though that happened. I am, well, we can be pretty confident that all of our drivers at the moment are going to go into Q2
Your lap times
with
are
about
falling off.
2
You're
minutes
ready to pit in for repairs? Box, box, box.
remaining. And Direwolves is not going to go into the box and repair his front wing damage. He's going to try for another lap without the front wing. That's obviously nothing too bad or something. Oh, it's changing a little bit the camera. So since I can only see Direwolves, I can't really comment on the other drivers. But obviously they all are doing a very good job. Fantastic job. Well, let's see if Direwolves is now going to go into the box to repair his front wing damage that he already had. Let's take a look. Yeah, he's slowing down to let the other drivers by who are behind him. There you go. There's James Toddy going by, and now he has enough space to drive calmly without hesitation or problems into the box. And the last moment he did decide to go into the box again. Good decision for those last 30 seconds. It doesn't really matter if he gets a better time, because Q1 obviously is not that important. The thing that matters is the final standings, and we already can be certain that Direwolves is going to go into Q2, as are the other drivers, of course. Can see drivers. And yes, all of our drivers are on track, as well as the Ferrari of Yaze F8, currently on P19. That's why. But he's there as well. About to. We're now going with James Toddy. As you can see, the top left, there's the driver we are currently following. Has been doing a great qualifying for now. And here we go to finish Q1 and jump into Q2. These are the standings. Emigrant Corgi with a P1 after Q1. Very excited for Q2. Yase F8 unfortunately going out, but for his first race he did a very good job. For his first qualifying with the F1 Esports League, he did a very good job. So we are back in Q2 again. Let's see, or let's take a look at which drivers are going to drop out of this session, which drivers are going to go into Q3. I don't know where Dyer will slow down a little, but this is only his out lap, so it doesn't really matter as well. The pace that he's got, I mean, just to heat up the tires a little, that is the only thing that matters at the moment. The tire temperature, but for now it's not really that important. Here we can see that as well, as he's like heating up the tires a little. So, which drivers are going to go into Q3? Which drivers are going to drop out? We'll see all of that in Q2 right now. Here we are. As Direwolves is starting to go into his first lap of Q2, and it starts now. Very solid first corner, good second one, and third one as well. That's a very nice movement from him. Still in sector 1, but about to finish. No, he did already finish sector 1, did he? Yes, he did. Now coming into sector 3. So I believe, yes. Performing the fastest second sector. American Corgi getting the fastest lap and P1 at the moment with a 1.10 again. Now Direwolves on this straight here, which I repeatedly said as one of the most interesting and important or well-liked overtaking spots. And here we can see the situation at the moment with Emigrant Corgi on P1, Direwolves on P2, James Toddy on P3, Ceramic Mars on P4, and Galore Nebula on P5. Basically the situation, the exact same situation that we had after Q1. So the drivers still have about, I think, 10 minutes to determine where they will finish. It's a good movement here. And well, obviously this lap is not as special as the other ones, or as important. Still also slowed down 2 or 3 times, but he knows as well as all the other drivers that the only thing that matters in Q2 is getting a good lap time and finishing on a solid time for Q3. Direwolves and the Red Bull now with the fastest sector 1 here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Now a little bit of corner cutting there from the Red Bull. Oh, that was some late braking by the Austrian car. Sorry for that mistake. Fastest sector 2 by Direwolves as well. Now he's far into sector 3. And we'll take a look at that. Oh, close to hitting the wall there, but he's finishing on P2 still with a faster sector 1 and a faster sector 2, only 0.87 seconds. 0.087 seconds behind Emigrant Corgi. Fantastic lap from Emigrant Corgi as well. If you give the props to someone, you have to give the props to the other one as well. So Emigrant Corgi at the moment just driving very, very well. As well as all the other drivers, of course. They are all doing a fantastic job right now. I'm very excited to see whether the drivers in this race are going to be as competitive as the drivers in the PC race. And what I mean by that is to see if the drivers are, if there are going to be as many crashes as there were in the PC race. Obviously, we have one more driver here in this this Xbox Challenger, but still, I believe this could be something very, very interesting and exciting. Direwolf's now into the box as he's again very happy with his fastest lap. Completely understandable, as all the drivers did a very good job. Currently on second place, It's a very good drive from all of the drivers here, as they all will get into Q3. Yes, and here we can also see the time difference between the Alfa Romeo of Emigrant Corgi, who's out here on another lap, absolutely driving, absolutely fantastic. The movement is great. Fastest lap time as well, of course. And here we can see Galore Nebula in the racing point on his out lap to improve his current lap time, as well as all the other drivers that are out on track. But even though he did drive very well, Galore Nebula, currently not the fastest driver on track. We can see only 203 mph, 14th in speed standings at the moment. And now the Red Bull driver is going out on track again. So we've got about, or well, the drivers still have about 4 minutes left on the clock to improve their racing pace and their race time. Here, at the moment, the standings are as they were. American Corgi on P1, Direwolves currently on P2, trying to improve his lap as well. James Toddy on P3, Ceramic Mars in the Renault on P4, and Galore Nebula on P5. Then we've got TW, I believe, on P6 or a little bit lower. I'm not 100% sure because I can't see the standings that close. But as it seems, we've got Direwolves, who's half a second faster than his best lap, which would mean he would go into first place, but we'll have to see what he can do. It's 1 second faster, and he does get himself P1. That has been a fantastic lap by the Red Bull driver. Absolutely fantastic, that work. Brilliant what the drivers are doing. And here, as I said, TW currently not anymore under P5, but in the top 5 drivers of this qualifying session, as he's gotten himself into P3, jumping ahead of James Toddy and Ceramic Mars and Galore Nebula. Two minutes to go for the other drivers to maybe try and attack Direwolves and his best lap of 1 minute 9 seconds and 392. Maybe Emigrant Corgi could be the one achieving that time. Maybe even someone else. Now it's Direwolves trying to again improve or improve his best lap time. But even though I would wish him good luck doing that, I am not quite sure that he's going to be able to do that, because already with a 1.9, that is a fantastic lap time for the Canadian Grand Prix, for the Canadian track here. That's why I'm always excited to see the strategy that the drivers are going to choose. With about 50% of race length, we will see, or we can see about 1 or 2 boxing stops. So the question is, are they going to go with 2 boxing stops and maybe go twice with the softs, or once with the softs and twice with the mediums? Or are they going to start on the mediums or on a harder tyre and then go later on a softer tyre to get that race pace back that they maybe lost on the mediums, or the other way around? Start on the softs. We'll see. Both strategies could maybe work. We'll obviously have to take a look as well on the weather, so on the meteorological situation, because if it's going to rain, then neither the softs nor the mediums are going to help. In that case, obviously the wets are the best choice, the wets and the intermediates, depending on how wet the track is. Well, but that's about it from Q2. And we'll now jump into Q3 with Direwolves currently on P1, Emigrant Corgi on P2, TW in the McLaren on P3, James Toddy on P4, Galore Nebula on P5, and Ceramic Mars, I believe, on P6. But again, I don't want to say anything wrong. And Yazzie, in his first race, with the F1 International League. We'll take a look at that.
Checks complete. We're ready.
And we'll start off Q3 with Direwolves again here, and some other drivers on track as well. I can see Galore Nebula about to finish his first lap or the out lap. I am able to see TW, and I believe that Ceramic Mars just behind the Red Bull. But I'm not quite sure if it's Galore Nebula behind Ceramic Mars in the Renault, or if Galore Nebula is about to finish his first lap. Oh, that was a close one. Centimeters between the driver's car and the wall there. And Direwolf's going on a good race pace, a little bit off the track right there, losing a little bit of the grip, coming into the hairpin of the famous Canada track. Now onto the straight, and we can see that TW has got himself the fastest lap, sorry, with a P1 at the moment. Well, that was a dangerous corner cutting there, and I believe it's going to be a 1.9, and he's going to get another fastest lap. Direwolves in the Red Bull, although it was a little bit cheeky with a little bit of a corner cutting there that we were able to see, but it hasn't been charged, so nothing wrong there. But we can see the exit of corner 13 is difficult to some drivers. That's the corner instantly after the hairpin, which makes a lot of drivers scrape the wall. We can see that again. Going out here, then into this corner here, some drivers struggle with that. For example, here again, as they like scrape the wall or lose some grip. Now Direwolves is going to go into the box as well. Ceramic Mars at the moment starting from P2, TW from P3, James Toddy from P4, and Galore Nebula from P5. And maybe now while Direwolves is in the box, we can see some other drivers bring up some good times. There's, for example, Emigrant Corgi, who's going to finish his lap time with a 1.9 and get that first position. What a great lap and what a great battle that is. And we've seen that the Red Bull driver just went into the box to relax a little bit after finishing on P1 here. And now he has to go out again to defend his pole position, or well, to gain it back. And obviously we will drive with him and see if he's going to manage, if he's going to be able to achieve his point there, his idea there. There are 5 minutes remaining on the clock for the drivers to improve their time again and maybe get the chance to start the race in Canada from pole position. The race should be about 35 laps long, each one consisting of 4.361 kilometers. Which means that they will drive for about 150,000 kilometers in one race, and that was some oversteering. And that was some oversteering, which has cost Direwolves P1. 2 faster sectors, 9 seconds slower. Look at that. 2 faster sectors for Direwolves, and both of them as if he dropped everything away. That's very, very unfortunate for the Red Bull driver, who was certainly about to finish in a very good spot, a very good position. But now we'll have to deal with whatever situation we have right now.
When you're ready, let's go.
So again, with about 3 minutes remaining on the clock, Direwolves in the Red Bull is going to try to improve this lap again. And there we can see that it has been a warning for Direwolves, as he has crossed the line, the white line on the pit lane exit, which is obviously also something that is going to get punished, that he is going to get punished for. Good car movement here into the hairpin. That was a good movement here. And American Corgi has gotten himself an even faster lap at the moment. I'm not 100% sure, but the only thing that I was able to see was a 1.8. And that is outstanding. My oh my, that is really, really outstanding from the Alfa Romeo driver. That's a little bit wide here for the Red Bull, which obviously means that he unfortunately cannot finish his lap here. And I believe that he is going to start the race in Canada for the Xbox here on P2, and he will have to leave P1 and the pole position to Emigrant Corgi in the Alfa Romeo. But maybe the two of them are going to give us a great battle in the race later.
Seconds left in the session.
Well, you heard Steve. 30 seconds left in the session. Now it's about 10 that are left here. Drivers, I believe, won't be able to finish their laps. And this is going to be the final standings. Amigan Corgi on P1. If Direwolves is not going to be able to improve that time. But we don't know about that, do we? Direwolves coming now into corner 10. Now about to get into corner 11 with a hairpin. That was a good movement here. 3/10 faster than his best lap. I don't think that is going to be enough to pass Emigrant Corgi though. Fantastic drive from the Red Bull driver, but I don't believe he's going to be able to get that time. In fact, he's not. But he still is able to pick up second place and start next to the pole position. And we can see the standings again. Emigrant Corgi starting from the pole position. And Direwolves on P2. So we are here in Canada, as we are about to say, lights out, and away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. And there we go with the first fight, as Emigrant Corgi seems to have given up P1 here to Direwolves, who instantly fought for that P1 here. for that first spot, but Emigrant Corgi in the Alfa Romeo is obviously fighting back against the Red Bull, who now has to defend for the rest of the race.
Great first lap. Keep it up.
It's going to be very difficult, very tough, as both drivers have already shown us how incredibly good they can drive a Formula 1 car on this track. Both of them bringing some fantastic times onto the clock. We've got James Toddy on P3 in the Alfa Romeo as well. That is possibly going to be a very successful race for the Alfa Romeo team here. And Emigrant Corgi is coming closer and closer. Some late braking from Direwolves, who's going to get punished with a warning at the moment. Already 12% tyre use by the Red Bull driver. So the softs don't seem to resist much with this level of heat. Galore Nebula on P4 and Stroll in the Racing Point as well on P5. The fastest Sector 1 for Direwolves again, who still has the fastest lap. And Emigrant Corgi has gone into the box, I believe. Or he has just dropped down. I don't know what happened there. Had to slow down, but he had to give away his position, his P2 spot, to James Toddy and Galore Nebula, who obviously take that spot well, very happily, so very thankful for that P2. And now we'll just have to take a look for the next 32 laps about what will happen, what we'll see, and obviously which driver is going to land ahead of everyone else. A very good race start though, very good. Direwolves instantly pinching into the gap between the two drivers there. He had seen there was a space to overtake Emigrant Corgi, and he just immediately took it without even thinking about the possible risks and the possible outcome of that move. But in the end, that is racing, that is Formula 1, and that is how you drive a Formula 1 car. No risk, no fun is the basic or is the main theme that most of the drivers have. If you don't go with any risk, then you won't be able to get a good position after the race. But obviously at the moment it's looking very, very good.
Replacing if it takes too much damage.
So we're now into lap number 5. It's very easy at the moment. They're all still at the top of this race. and we will just have to wait until we return to the track. Galore Nebula now already also into the pits, as we can see that. James Toddy still on P2, and Stroll on P3, Magnussen P4, and Russell P5 in the Williams. We've got about 30 laps to go, so enough time for all of the drivers to overtake or do some good movements there, here and there. And a lot of space between Direwolves and James Toddy. Those 4 seconds are
Gap behind is 4.2 seconds.
are very much. Good movement here. Again, by the Red Bull.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
So as we've heard, now in lap number 7, Direwolves is going to go into the pits. We still have about 10 laps until the half of the race.
No need to worry about
And 28 laps, or 27, until the end of this race, of this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, James Toddy really has come closer to the Red Bull. Now the Red Bull is trying to increase the space between the two of them. Now not going into the pits, even though that he did choose that strategy, although as we can see from his tires, the tires are still very good, so that shouldn't be no problem.
Fuel is looking really good. You're managing
Now
it
the top 5 currently consisting only out of AI drivers and Direwolves. Now James Toddy back into the top 3 here, which obviously has been a great movement from him as well. James Toddy changing to the medium tires, and Direwolves who has taken a look at his car and at his wheels, at his tires, decided to go for another 1 or 2 laps on the softs, as he had seen that the softs were in a pretty good shape, even though they already are in lap number 8. And now, as we can see, he decides to finally go into the pits for the pit stop. And that's a good one.
Go, go, go.
It's very fast, 2.6 seconds only for that pit stop. And we will see if Stroll is going to be able to finish in front of him. Yes, he will. Will James Toddy too? Yes, he will too.
One stop left in our strategy.
Is he? No, he's not. Direwolves on the pit exit, finishing in front of both of them, in front of the AI driver and in front of James Toddy in the Alfa Romeo. Still some fantastic race pace from both of them. Very well done from all of the drivers that are currently driving this this Grand Prix. So we're about to come into lap number 10, where we then won't have any problems with the drivers anymore, I believe. James Toddy currently on P2 as Stroll went into the pits. Easy move there. Direwolves on the new mediums, and he also decides to go for a next or a new pit stop there. That was close, as he was about to scratch the wall there. Well, I'm absolutely excited for the next races that are about to come in the Formula 1 Esports League calendar, as we are going to race in Spielberg in Austria in the next week at the Red Bull Ring, obviously, which is going to give a home race to not only Direwolves but also Blind 30 from the PC tier. Maybe they will be able to get a little home win. We'll see. But Spielberg is obviously a very interesting track. I mean, lots of pace, lots of overtaking possibilities. Literally every corner is an overtaking corner. And there's not even that many corners. Only 8. Only 8 corners, 3 DRS zones. So also in Spielberg, I believe we're going to see, or we will certainly see a fantastic, interesting and intriguing race. But for now, obviously, we're going to stick with Canada, who still is a very interesting and spectacular track. I mean, the way it's built, we've got that very long straight with a little chicane there between corner 13 and corner number 3, and then you've got this construction of complete confusion, you could say, as there's this complete mixture between straights and chicanes, and then that hairpin at the last corner there for 35 laps, all of that. It's a tough one. Still a beautiful track in my opinion, one of the most interesting ones, next to Monaco in my opinion. Also very interesting, or very nice to race at, or to look at the track, obviously, because racing it is very difficult and absolutely not nice. Then another track that is absolutely nice racing at, in my opinion, is the Yas Marina circuit. Personally, I really enjoy driving the F1 game there at the Yas Marina circuit, just because the game is really detailed, and not only about that, it's just you've got so many tracks that are so fantastic and so interesting, with so many corners, so many overtaking possibilities, so much speed, as for example Monza, the temple of speed is. I mean, no problem overtaking anywhere. But we'll obviously go back to Canada again, with Direwolves currently still on P1. They've got James Toddy on P2 in the Alfa Romeo, got Nebula in the Racing Point on P3, and Ceramic Mars in the Renault on P5. I'm very excited to see if there's any drivers who are interested in talking about the race afterwards. We'll see that. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But for now, we'll obviously concentrate ourselves again on this race.
You're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Keep pushing. Caution. Caution. Yellow flags ahead.
So we can hear that there is another yellow flag here, and it's Yaze F8 in the Ferrari. In Sector 3, he's gone out of the track, or he had some struggling. I'm not quite able to see. Yes, he's moving forwards in the car. I believe that has been a fatal crash for him. Now he has to go back into the box to repair the damage that he had to deal with after this crash.
Target is +1. Faster engine modes are available.
So we're now about to enter lap number 17, which means we're about to get to the half of this Grand Prix. So another half to go, as the drivers now have to endure another 17 laps of Formula 1 racing, of Canadian Grand Prix here. A quick reminder for everyone else who hasn't been around this far. Dire Wolves in the Red Bull on P1. James Toddy in the Alfa Romeo on P2. And Galore Nebula on P4 in the Racing Point. All the cars are racing out now. We can see TW just behind him, but it's taken a little. As TW, I believe, has been blue flagged because he's not in the top 5.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Now we can hear that again. Dire Wolves is going to pit in the next 2 to 3 laps to go again, to jump again onto the softs. We'll maybe see if he will go into the box again after that one. So if he's going to go for 3 pit stops or if he's going to stay with 2. So we can see there's another yellow flag here, and it quickly resolved itself, although the Dire Wolves had to go with another warning for corner cutting here. Now he's going to blue flag both cars here, and the Haas of Grosjean, the AI driver, is going dangerously close to the to the Red Bull, Aston Martin Red Bull Racing here.
In this lap, push now. The gap behind us is 3.9 seconds.
Now lap 2021, at about lap number 20 to lap 21, which means that the drivers have to go for another 15 laps. Emigran Corgi now has fought himself back onto P5. Very good movement from them as well, to get the positions back that they really need there. They currently are doing all of them are doing a great job. All of them are doing a great job here.
Faster than us by around 1 second per lap.
We'll just hope that no driver is going to slide out of the race. Yeah, that's obviously not something that we want.
We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
So now we can see that Dowles is going to lose some tyre grip. I'm sorry, I know it's going to be a little bit boring everything I say, but although it has to be important and whatever, we've got Direwolves still on P1, James Toddy on P2, and then we're going Corgi right now on P3. That's a very good comeback from the second Alfa Romeo driver. A very good comeback. Absolutely fantastic from both of them. From all of the drivers at the moment. We're now still going with him. So still about 12 to 13 laps to go here. There was a helicopter at the top there. TW on P15, Galore Nebula on P9. Thank you, Direwolves, to demonstrate that to us, to let us look at the standings at the moment. That's absolutely great. But that's a solid lap for him as again, the 2.6. We'll see if Emigrant Corgi is going to be able to get some time back here. But it doesn't look like he is. And James Toddy is now 12 seconds away after one pit stop here. And here we've seen what can happen if you don't, if you're not careful. I believe he's lost a little bit of the front wing there, but I'm not quite sure because I can't really see whatever's happening in front of there. But that stretching or well, touching the wall is obviously nothing that's good for the car, and here is the time penalty that was about to come there. Here we can see Ceramic Mars in the Renault on P17, and we can also see that Direwolves is about to blue flag some of the other drivers. And now we're about to get to the 10-minute marker, 10 lap marker, I'm sorry for that. So we still have 10 laps to go, about 10 laps, more or less, until the end of this race to see where it will finish. We can see again the standings. James Toddy on P2, American Corey on P3. Direwolves now with the 3-second time penalty has to keep James Toddy away from him in the last 10 laps of this race to secure that first spot and those 25 points that he really wants. And obviously American Corgi even with the fastest lap of the race so far, so that one is also a fantastic move.
Green flag.
Galore Nebula now fought himself back into P4 as Stroll has dropped out of this race.
Caution, caution.
And it seems like there's another yellow flag.
There's a yellow flag ahead.
Is it the same driver? Is it still Lance Stroll who's dropped out? Yes, I believe so.
You'll be on the softs.
Now about 7 laps to go.
A second a lap to the car behind, 1 second.
Now he has to decide whether he's going to give away that fighting spot here against James Toddy, who's probably not going to go into the box again, or if he's going to go into the box and lose that first spot here. Direwolves has to decide whether he wants to fight and try to get faster in these last 3 laps on the tires that he already in the last 3 laps, those last 5 laps, 7 laps that are remaining. If he wants to try to get faster than James Toddy in the on the mediums,
Our gap behind is 2.3
but it doesn't look like. And even if, at the moment, James Toddy is the one winning this Grand Prix, because it's getting faster and faster and closer to Direwolves, and Direwolves still has this 3-second time penalty. Which basically ruins his whole strategy, because without this it probably would have worked. It probably could work even, but I don't think, and I think that the Direwolves thinks the same way. I don't think that at the moment it's pretty much useful for him to go into the box right now. But we don't know. Maybe he'll go into the box. But I don't think so, because for the last 6 laps that are remaining.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
Now he's now taking a look at the wheels, at the tires again, to decide. But I believe he's not going to go into the box. He's not. That would give him a distance way too big between him and the second Alfa Romeo. That would be a distance way too big between the two cars. So James Toddy already now very close to the Red Bull of Direwolves. Here we can see him is probably going to pass him on the straight if Direwolves is not going to defend well enough. And the tires are used, yeah, sure. And he's not going to go in. That's what I believe. That's what I thought as well. I think the Direwolves is going to try to finish this Grand Prix on this compound. But James Toddy is obviously pushing, and James Toddy has the fresher tyres with a little bit more grip on the mediums, of course. The softs are a little bit faster, but the ones from Direwolves are already a little bit older. And most importantly, of course, there's 5 laps to go. So the question remains, will Direwolves be able to finish this race on his old compound of tyres and keep the 3 seconds of distance between him and the Alfa Romeo of James Toddy, or will he have to give away that P2 spot, that P1 spot? That is the question. And we will see now, because there are like four laps remaining.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Now he's getting a little bit faster, already 1 second away from James Toddy. So James is slowing down. Direwolves also has Kvyat in between the two of them. So that's also a very good stopper, obviously, for Direwolves in regarding the race pace of James Toddy. Because James Toddy can't drive as fast as he usually could. And we've got a yellow flag just right here. I believe it's Roman Grosjean who's out of the race, if I have seen correctly. Norris now also passed here again, going to the last corners. And yes, as I said, I believe he's going to finish the race on this compound. But I believe that James Toddy is going to be able to pass Direwolves in the next few laps. I'm going to say that. We'll see if it's going to be true. About half a second, more than half a second away from Direwolves. Now only 3 laps to go. 3.5 laps that are remaining. Good corner here. A little bit too wide, actually. And there we have James Toddy, of course, who still is trying to fight for that position. Now over the inside, maybe. No, he cannot. But maybe now the straight. Will he be able, using the DRS on the mediums now? James Toddy is trying to go past here, but Direwolves is defending very, very good for now. We're in lap 33, or about to get into lap 33, which means there are 3 laps remaining. Good corner here. James Toddy tries to go over the inside, but Direwolves cuts him right into the lane, which means that James had to leave the space for the Red Bull to not get thrown out of this race as well, or so that both of them won't get dropped out of this race. Now, good corner here and here in corner number 10, going straight to corner number 11, and we don't have many laps to go anymore. And Direwolf didn't have the grip anymore. He slipped away, and now he's got the pace as James Toddy's absolutely slowing down. I don't know what happened there. Completely slipped away in corner 11 in the hairpin, leaving James Toddy all the space that he needed, and the Alfa Romeo driver just couldn't get ahead of himself and use all that space for a good solid overtake. Just didn't know how to defend that Red Bull car, just sprinting next to him like a lightning bolt, just coming out of the rear window, there, from behind, just passing the Alfa Romeo. And we are back where we were before, where we have been already. Half a second between Direwolves and James Toddy. American Corgi still on P3 with the fastest lap on the mediums, and Galore Nebula on P4 with the Racing Point going back into the hairpin. Now we can see that the Red Bull of Direwolves, here went into the hairpin a little bit more carefully, very slow into that corner. Again into another chicane, and about to enter lap number 35 and the final lap of this race of the Canadian Grand Prix here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Great race so far, absolutely fantastic. We've had a race winner on the PC here already with Elliott, and the Racing Point, who has been doing a great job. And here we've got Direwolves, who, as it seems, has to give away his 3-second time penalty to James Toddy in the end, which means that currently James Toddy is about to win this Grand Prix. Oh, here he's going to slip a little. We'll see what will happen. Will the Alfa Romeo be able to pass him on the straight? That is a good move. And yes, the Alfa Romeo of James Toddy is able to pass him, late braking from the Red Bull. And the checkered flag is there. The other drivers are left with 2 minutes on the clock, and James Toddy is the race winner of the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with Direwolves dropping down to P2 after that 3-second time penalty. Emigrant Corgi now about to finish this Grand Prix on P3 as well. We've got Galore Nebula on P4, TW on P7, and Yassi F8 on P17 with a time penalty as well. Some great laps from the guys here. Absolutely fantastic. The only thing I can say is congratulations to the Alfa Romeo team, who has absolutely been amazing this Grand Prix today. Brilliant race from both of the drivers. Congratulations to James Toddy on a fantastic first place and a magnificent race win, and obviously congratulations on Direwolves on a great second place, and Emigrant Corgi on a fantastic P3 and a fastest lap. Beautifully done from the Alfa Romeo team. And here, the race is over. For everyone here, congratulations to everyone, to all the drivers that have been going on track here today. Fantastic driving from all of you. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So we are now waiting for all the other drivers. I hope that this time it will work and I will be able to hear all of you. So one of you could speak a little to check if I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, great, fantastic. Well, first of all,
Hello, thank you.
congratulations to everyone. It has been a very, very interesting and absolutely fantastic race from all of you. Congratulations, obviously, to James Toddy on that race win. Congratulations to Direwolves on P2 and Emigrant Corgi on P3. So, who would like to start on saying a little bit about this race? Let's start with the race winner, James Toddy.
Hi.
Hey, what are your impressions on this race? What do you have to say?
It was a good race for me because I'm not normally good at the start. To normally lose my front wing and mess up my pit stops. Today was a very good not doing that.
So, as we've seen, I believe it was a very good day for the Alfa Romeo team, as both of you have had a very nice race, a very successful race as well. America and Corgi, unfortunately, finishing only on P3, but still getting that that fastest lap after the pole position. America and Corgi, would you want to tell us what went wrong after the pole position there? Why you just dropped down?
Yeah, well, basically on the second lap, I spun just behind Wolves and yeah, dropped me down pretty much to last, to be honest. So at the time, I was planning on whether or not to do a one-stop or a two-stop to pit for the hards or not. I I actually decided to go for the two-stop. So I fit the mediums, and then about 10 laps towards the end, I realised that I could probably run the mediums to the end, actually. And so I finished the race on both my rear tyres at, 95% tyre wear. And I think that strategy is actually what helped me get back up.
Well, that's true. I mean, P3 is still a very great spot. And now we'll talk to Direwolves in the Red Bull, of course, the Red Bull driver who finished on P2. First of all, congratulations for P2 as well to you.
Thanks.
Would you say you gave away
Spot
that?
on Taiwan.
Would you say you gave away that that win?
Well, I've got 3 words for you: tyre wear and penalties. That's what hit me the most there.
I know.
The penalty I got was because trying to go for usually what I do, like taking a little bit of curb on the last chicane, but my tyre went slightly over the curb, and that gave me the penalty. And to be honest with you, I used too many tyres in qualifying, so all my softs were used. And I'm not a big fan of the hard tyre. Find it quite slow, to be honest with you, going around, not providing the right race pace. So I was just trying to hold on, trying to pull a gap, but in the end, it just wasn't going to work, trying to pull a gap away.
So do you think the decisive moment for that loss of this race win was that you decided to finish your race on the softs that you already had? So it was was it the fault of the penalty or of your strategy that you didn't win today?
To be honest, with a strategy, it was very close, as we saw, like at the end. We were like,
yes,
exactly.
I
nearly lost it on the final corner, lost the lead on the final corner.
Exactly, you had to go a little bit slower, and you basically spun in the last in the 34th lap, I believe it was, like 1 lap before finishing with the final lap. You spun, and James Tuddy had the chance to regain that first spot just without
he gave it back because he misjudged his brake line naturally.
Exactly.
That was why I spun. So he gave the position back, which I'm grateful for that. Because he could have just, driven off and not cared about that he just hit me.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see that. That's
it was a tiniest of taps.
That's very fair. Absolutely fair.
Missing that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all I can say really.
But I mean, of course, the penalty is something that every driver hates. It's something that as a driver, you certainly don't want to be a part of your race, because penalties are something that you can absolutely avoid. And in the end, we've seen the time penalty was the thing that really stopped you from winning this Grand Prix. I mean, without that, the tires were working, let's say, because they were not in great shape, but they were working. And but still.
Yeah.
Good race from all of you. Congratulations. And, then we still have Sir McMass. We don't have any more. Okay, great. We still have two other guys who wanted to say something. No, we don't. Okay. Risa Much, do you want to say something?
Yes, first thing, I want congrats to Darvals, Gorge, and James. And I'm happy because from P8 to P19 and I'm going to P6, it's good race.
Yeah, absolutely. It really has been an exciting and fantastic race from all of you. Really, really nice to watch as well. And I was obviously very, very humbled and excited to comment such a fantastic race. So again, thank you for participating in this race. I wish you good luck for the next race in Austria. in Spielberg. And I again thank you for this interview, and we'll see you next time. Great. So we're finished with the interviews. I believe all of you have seen an incredibly interesting race today, with a lot of overtakes, a lot of drama, and a lot of situations that weren't supposed to happen. But, well, altogether, it has been a fantastic race, and thank you for staying here. Keep up the pace, and we'll see you next week in Spielberg.